Hello, my name is Ajaya Sommers, and I'd like to welcome you to explore with me an invitation to my upcoming course called Taking Refuge. For those of you who I haven't met yet, I am the founder and the developer of a body of work called Core Embodiment, which is essentially a practice that utilizes breath and sound and intrinsic movement, particular inquiries and perceptual orientations in which we can really dive in to our direct experience and metabolize all that it is to be here, to be alive, to be human. It's also a practice that allows us to integrate traumas from our history and intergenerationally, collectively, those things that we've inherited that are ours to also metabolize. It's also a practice that allows us to tap in and really find the freshness of this moment and be at that event horizon of our own discovery and creativity and innovation and inspiration, and really share our unique gifts at this time. And so I'm called, given that here we are at the end of 2020, one of the most profound, I think, years for many of us. And I'm aware that, we've gone through a lot and we're in the middle of a global pandemic, and we are in the midst of what some people consider our sixth extinction. We are in profound climate change. We are in the midst of a big election. We are in the midst of a social and racial justice revolution. We are in the midst of waking up on a deeper level to the false narratives and manipulation of our media. And there's so many levels. I feel the excitement of this time is there's so many calls to address, right? And yet, I would say a kind of secondary crisis to, everything that I just mentioned is that when our organism is constantly externally referencing, constantly giving our attention out and out and out, we experience a kind of abandonment, a sense that our host is not actually here. We are designed as human organisms that are intrinsically woven and embedded with an ecosystem. We're designed to be rooted, to be bonded with, most essentially, our primary relationship with ourselves and with our planet and with this larger field. And what I found through a couple of decades of being in my own laboratory is that there are three main centers in our body that when they come into congruence or coherence, it allows us this most natural access of our design to both be connected to ourselves, our wise inner guidance, as well as to our wise relation to the larger field of our lives and our access to being agents of making good choices at this time. And so we spend some time cultivating our hara, our belly center, our root system, and reestablishing that bond and that connection and making a good home for ourselves here in our bellies. And when we do that, it allows our heart the space to rest on this foundation, to have the space to be open, relaxed, available, listening, receptive. That's really the true nature of our heart. And when our belly and our hearts come together in a kind of a humming coherence, then it allows our head center to have a place to also rest and be receptive to this larger field of intelligence, and really allows our whole channel to open and to receive, both internally and externally. And I feel that at this time, this is our most vital priority, that each of us have a trustworthy and sovereign, coherent center of listening that we can respond to this moment of address from. And what I notice is that for many of us right now, we are in a constant state of overwhelm and panic and survival level imperatives that are very threatening. And so we're living in a chronic state of kind of a shutdown where, our root system is pulled up, we're disconnected from our place of belonging, our hearts are closed, and we're trying to manage everything more from our head center. And I think we all know this experience of feeling overheated and upregulated. And I'm noticing for a lot of people in my practice right now that it can go into more of the domains of anxiety and panic attacks and depression and dysregulated sleep. And I think for some people right now, they're on medications they would have never imagined they would be on to try to regulate these symptoms. So what I want to name is that, yes, it's important that we show up and we pay attention and we address all of these very vital subjects that are very much alive in the field and require our attention. And yet we need to bring our attention to the heart of the matter, quite literally, from our deepest seat of honor, our deepest access to the core of who we are and to our relationship to the soul of this planet, to this phase of evolution, and to really show up with our vitality and our full presence. So I'm offering a space of refuge, a place for you to be held, to be seen, to have the safety to open and allow yourself to metabolize all that you're feeling at this time. I know for many of us, we're displaced, we're possibly looking at relocating, we're having financial pressures, strains in our relationships with all of the social disruptions. The list goes on and on and on. And so my invitation really is that we give ourselves the permission to prioritize our most fundamental and primary relationship to our deep self, and from there to allow those wise, right relations to the whole of our lives. So if you're interested in joining me, please feel free to click the link below and peruse the rest of my landing page. Feel free to reach out to me directly if you have any questions. I just wanted to make sure that you knew that you are invited to come and explore taking your deepest seat of refuge in your true seat of honor, and to make a good home for yourself in the midst of really this birth into a new earth, a new time, as we allow ourselves to release, to let go of the old stories of separation and lack and scarcity, and we birth a new earth. Thank you for taking this time to receive me, and I wish you the best. Take really good care, and many blessings to you all.